you get to a point where you say, man, I wanna really engross myself in
Yeah,
the acting world.
yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I knew what the grind would have to be because I had my feet wet
Mm-hmm.
previously doing a little something and shit. And I knew what it took for me to be taken seriously. And that meant no touring, no
Mm.
music, no nothing, because I'm walking in here as Method Man. I don't give a
Mm.
fuck who I'm trying to portray or what role I'm trying to get in this audition. When I walk in there,
They see Method Man.
Method Man, but Method Man the reason why I even got the fucking audition. So
Right.
I'll take that.
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
take that. But once I'm in the room, I'm gonna show you that I can do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
You feel like people are now really, because watching you play a lawyer is different for
Mm-hmm.
me than watching you play anything else. And I feel like people really starting to respect your acting and look at you more as an actor
Yeah. Hey, I
opposed to
hope
the
so.
rapper in the movie.
I hope so. I work hard as fuck on them scripts, nigga.
You doing
Man, look,
good. You doing great.
it
Do
be
you have an acting
pages
coach?
sometimes. Yeah, I do. Yes, I
Mm.
do. Yes, I do. And I work with him when necessary. Absolutely. He helps me with my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get your roles, do you read the whole script or you just read your sides?
I only read my parts.
Right.
Even when they send me for audition, they send you
Right, they
sides
send
and
you
they'll send
sides.
you the script. If I have to, all right, if I have to have a meeting with the director, okay, I'll read the script.
Mm.
If I don't have to have a meeting with the director and I just got to go in and on, I'm only reading my parts, see if I like the shit. If I don't, I'm,
You good on it.
mm-hmm.
Where's the anxiety coming from?
You just want to do good. It's butterflies, shit like that. But I've always had anxiety and shit from when I was young. Probably PTSD, some childhood shit I don't fucking fully remember.
Right.
You
It
know?
still affects you.
Yeah.
Trauma.
I sucked my thumb and peed the bed. The fuck? That's two stripes right there and shit. Like, something wrong with this nigga. They traumatized.
So when you read that they wanted you to play like a shiesty lawyer, basically, what were your thoughts?
Well, no, it wasn't a shiesty lawyer. It was just lawyer, period. When I got the call, I was excited because I was like, Power? What? They spin off? Hell yeah. But what they gonna do? Ghost is dead. That was my first shit, which is basically what everybody said when they heard the series was coming.
So did you audition or did they call you?
I had to audition.
Oh, okay.
I had to audition. They don't play that shit.
You still gotta always audition though.
Right, the way them checks come, because they'll give you your check. Them checks come too, boy, but you got to get the job, nigga. They ain't playing.
Right.
They is not playing. So, then I forgot where I was. All right, yeah, I got the audition. Got the call, and I'm like, yeah, I get to shoot some shit. Oh, I swear, I know I'm gonna be a killer on this one. I gotta be. That's my little repertoire and shit. They're like, no, they want you to play a lawyer. It's like, oh shit. And I was like, yeah, I could do that shit. Definitely do that shit. So my first thing was to over prepare. So I'm watching all this footage on Johnny Cochran, but it's just courtroom shit. I want to see Johnny Cochran outside the courtroom, and I found some footage of the man talking at a church. Dialect was totally different, so he code switches. I'm like, okay, he code switches. That's dope. That's dope. Let's see what environment. He was in the church talking and sounded just like a preacher. Then I watched, and I did this earlier from my class. I watched Philadelphia with Denzel and shit. And not necessarily watching his courtroom shit. I was watching his outside the courtroom shit. And I'm like, you see how they know, like, soon as they step out of the courtroom, they're regular again. I could do that shit. That's what it is. Now, how do I make this into something that sounds like it comes from me and not written or read off a piece of paper? How do I make it more of my own? All right, copy this. This is what I'll do. I'll take the parts of Denzel, the demeanor and everything in the courtroom and how he leaves the courtroom, and I'll take the parts of Cochran when he's outside of the courtroom. Code switch, back and forth, back and forth. All right, let's go in and do this audition. Best note that I got was from Anthony Hemingway, who shot the first episode. He's an executive producer on the series. He said, when you're in front of a crowd, you perform, right? All right. What do you think lawyers do in front of a jury and judge? They perform. I was like, say less. Went up in there, did my 1-2, 1-2, thought I fucked the whole audition up. I got the call back. that gave me even more fucking anxiety because now I'm like, God damn, I could only imagine courtroom scenes and all this. You know how they talk in court?
Right.
Them pages be long as
Yes,
fuck.
yes,
Like,
indeed.
serious.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, my first fucking 4 episodes, that shit was pages long, but I wanted to show these people that I was dedicated. Sat down with my motherfucking coach, which helped a lot, because repetition puts shit in your head.
Right.
And the best advice I can give people who even want to dabble into acting and things like that, when you look at these scripts and you read these words on this paper, yes, it says what it says, but you have to translate that. And what I mean by that is, how would you say it?
How would you say it?
How do you see this? What would you do in this situation? And that's how you do the work for a scene. You find your objective and you fight for that shit with everything in your being, whatever that fucking objective is and shit. You know what that is? Yes. And I mean, in life, we all want to win.
Right.
So that's the objective right there. Win. People think Davis McLean's motivation is money. The money come after. The win is the most important part of it. And that's what my objective is every time you see me in them scenes. Whether it's an argument between me and Sax or I'm talking to Tariq. My whole objective in that fucking argument or in that conversation is to get my point across for my win.
And you talk differently to both of them.
Damn right. Another thing that's funny is they say that I be putting on my job voice, my job interview. That's how I talk. No. What I had to do was lose the New York accent. I still got it. It's still there.
Right.
But I had to change up certain words to make it sound
Like
more
you had
authentic.
to pronounce them.
Yeah, differently. And what helped there was spending so much time in California kind of helped me. Now, not how they talk in the hood where they're hard on those R's, but more of like how the corporate people who were born there talk. And instead of daughter, like we would say here, that's my daughter, it's daughter. That's my daughter. As opposed to I want a glass of water. I want a glass of water. And it's not ours, it's ours.
Our.
It's not ours, it's
I
ours.
can't even say that.
That's ours.
That's ours.
I can't even.
They
even
talk like that in like,
daughter.
what is it, Seattle or something like
See, I'm a method
Everywhere else
actor.
but
Because
New York.
people laugh because I
I'm a
say
method
coffee.
actor.
My nigga.
When I go on the set, if I'm playing a killer, I'm a killer all day. Don't call me nothing but killer. We make music and we, especially when you're coming up, you want to be heard, right?
Yeah.
And when you get your song on the radio and your song starts to blow up, that feeling that you get is like, is an unbelievable feeling.
I felt that. First Wu album, Method Man, they used to have this shit called Battle of the Beats on Hot 97 and shit. And that shit was winning so much they had to retire it. That was dope. That was dope. And then once the All I Need shit hit, it's funny because, you know, my first single was Bring the Pain off the solo album. The solo album did fairly well when it came out and shit. And Bring the Pain gave it a little light. And I remember doing these shows in these bars. And I always love clubs. Clubs is, you get some of the best audiences in clubs and shit. You know what I'm talking about? So All I Need drops. And mind you, I was getting like $2,500 a show when Bring the Pain and all that shit came out and shit, $2,500. But All I Need drops. And every day I'm getting these fucking shows. It wasn't that frequent. It just used to be like a Weekend Warrior thing. But every day I'm getting these fucking shows. I had to tell the manager, look, up the price. Up the fucking price. So now we up to 10K. And I started noticing that the audience started getting different. Because at my shows, it was always full of just the hood.
Right.
The dirtiest, grimiest niggas you can find and shit. Full of that shit. It started to change. Everybody, it was more females.
Even now, when there's like a Wu-Tang show, it's always like a bunch of white girls. I'm like, what?
Well, you know, that come with the territory when you're, first of all, we a group that transcended into a white audience.
Right.
And when you get to that status right there, people wear your shit or wear your shirt and don't even know who the fuck you are. They just like what the fuck it represents and shit. And that was the whole point any motherfucking way, you know? Live and you learn. But yeah, we fucks with the white folks. We fuck with them.
And the music transcended the you know, over there, it kind of crossed over without y'all even trying. Like, I don't feel
I
like
think a
y'all was
lot of
trying
it
to
had to
make
do,
music
it was
for-
a lot of the Rage Against the Machine tour helped.